What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy, Andrew Schultz, a.k.a. Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who am I with, as always? Joseph Huggie, a.k.a. Old Man Huggie. Talk shit or get off the pod. Episode 115. Henry Kissinger finally fucking died. Let's go, motherfuckers.
I'm busting out the fucking war horn. Like,
that guy invented the war horn.
dude, that happened while we just got done recording the other podcast, and that happened like that got posted like that just happened, and he's been looking rough, but he
just turned 100.
It just turned 100.
But also, as soon as he died, I sent it to a group text. I was like, "Fucking finally, dude! This guy's responsible for like 2 million deaths. He's a fucking straight war criminal. Should have been put in the Hague. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Instead of like dignitaries are showing up to his 100th birthday, they like nothing.
And it'd be ludicrous. This is gonna be a ludicrous statement.
Luda.
But you could if you said, look, we're gonna just cut everybody in Gitmo loose, and we're only gonna have Henry Kissinger there, it'd be like, well, let's hear, what do you got? Like, we would listen to that argument. That's how much death and destruction that dude has caused across the entire planet over such a long period of time. He is like, arguably, I mean, there's a meme where it's like a vending machine, and it's every time somebody dies that like shouldn't, and it's like, it should be this guy. Everybody knows like some Henry Kissinger in their life where it's like, man, how come Jim Bob had to die in that like Sea-Doo accident? You were the one that was drunk and you were driving. You should be the fucker that's dead. Like, that's Henry Kissinger on a timeline.
It's like that murder trial.
Yeah.
His son crashed their boat and somebody died on it because he was all wasted.
And then his other son,
the rich guy.
And then his other son potentially maybe killed somebody. That guy that was found like ran over by the side of the road, but it was like somebody that potentially, that's
the son that he killed.
No, a different one. The one that's off at college, Buster.
Oh, the one that's still alive. Yeah,
the one that's
he killed the one that got in the boat accident.
No. So there was the younger one. That was the one that was drinking and driving the boat, crashed the boat, and the girl died. And then that's the one that he killed. Buster was the older son, where there was a body that wound up on the side of the road. And it was somebody that had some loose association with Buster. It was potential that like maybe they were in some sort of side relationship. Yeah. So I mean, Henry Kissinger is like Papa Murda, like out there like capping people by the dog kennels. Like, he's done some
kids that are killing people.
Dude,
it's insanity. This guy, like, and when I say like he's responsible for 2 million deaths, like, it's like that's like saying Barack Obama's responsible for the like murder of like civilians because of drone strikes. No, it's not like that. This dude was like in a room. He's like, yo, we gotta carpet bomb Cambodia, like without anybody, without Congress knowing, without like a past. It's a secret like campaign to just firebomb like farmers.
Yeah, and we'll get into it. It's like, because I changed it. Like, the title of the episode yesterday was Alex Jones Owes Me Money, because Alex Jones owes some motherfuckers money. But this came through, and I was like, I had to change it.
Why didn't we do it yesterday?
Because, you were gambling. We'll get into that. We'll get into it. But what I'm saying is, also, it was good having you on the other podcast. I wanted, like, I was like, if that's the deal, if you do that, because I want to go to sleep anyways. It's already late. I got to be up early. Like, that's fine.
I'm a good deal maker, Like,
yeah.
So, like, for the audience, I canceled like last minute, or I tried to postpone last minute because I had started a poker tournament at 4:25 p.m. my time, and we record at 8. And I was still in it, and so anyways, not to.
But you won.
No,
I mean, I feel like the poker has become like, I think we need to hear like out there gambling stories, or if you're at the card place.
Well, so this is what it is. Like, a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, I forget. But I told you, I've been on a bad run ever since I folded a jackpot hand, and so I took some time off from the in-person poker. But you know what I started reading the Super System again, which is like the Bible of poker. It's actually thicker than the Bible. It's written by Doyle Brunson, two-time World Series of poker champion, and he wrote the Super System and Super System 2. And I read both when I was like 16, so it's been 20 years, but that's also how long I've been playing poker and like interested in it. And so I was like, let me get back to the basics, like uh, on this time off, like try to hone my skills instead of just completely walking away. So online, I could play like much, much lower stakes, like I'm buying in $100 at the, live poker table.
Yeah.
But here, so what I did was I actually played a $1.10 tournament and I had 72 people in it and I won and I made like $19 or $17 or something, $17. And I took from that 17, I bought into this tournament yesterday for $5.50.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one, 225 people, $2,500 guaranteed in the prize pool. So like if there's not enough people in the tournament to equal 2,500, it will still get there. But the 225 actually got it over because what they did have this like thing once all the late registration is over, which is 2 hours into the tournament, there's a break and you can add on 10,000 chips for $5. So you start with 5,000 chips. So then you could add 10,000 at that point. So I did do that. So I'm in for $11 total. But everybody who did that, that increases the prize pool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in there and I just fucking wreck everybody. And I get down to the final table, get down to the final two, and they have a feature where you can make a deal at the final table to just so instead of going just heads up and first and second like forever. So I just quickly made a deal. Like, well, I came in on the final table with 2 million in chips. So I started with 5,000. I added 10,000, so 15,000 total that I bought, and I have 2 million. That's how like much I was just crushing. And the second place has 900,000. But then
Jesus.
like three hands in, he's got 2 million and I've got 900,000, and then like two hands later we both have like 1.5. So that's when I hit the deal thing. I'm like, let's just split this 50-50. So first place was supposed to get 434, second place like or 444, and second place was like 334. So we both just split it and got like 400 each.
Okay.
But that's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's good
Like that's
though.
hard to do. Beat 225 people.
Now, do you take that online money and take it to the card house?
Well, that's what I did. So
That's what
I
I thought you were
actually,
doing. That's what I was
well, I
like.
did that a month or like a few weeks ago because I just wasn't gonna be able to get back to the poker room for like schedule reasons. So I just put this was like Halloween. Yeah, it was like basically on Halloween, and so a month ago, and I put in $35, and I turned that $35 in 2 days into 370.
Nice.
And then I put it away. I put 270 away and kept 100, and then cashed that out to go back to the poker room. But and I did win one time or with that, but then I that was like right when I was about to go on that bad run.
Bad run. Yeah.
Right. So then I was thinking, I was like, I'm only up in online. And I feel like, because you see so many more hands online, because it's so much more quick,
Yeah.
and the stakes are so much lower. Like, I can go buy in a $10 cash game, and the stakes are 5 cents, 10 cents, big blind, small blind,
Yeah.
which actually that's how I got to the 370s. Like, I took the 35, bought in $10, like, cashed out with 30, bought into the 25, cashed out, got into the 50, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. But you could do that, or you could play like sit and goes, where it's like a mini tournament. It's just 9 or 8 people at a table, and the top three win for second and third. And then that way, it's like you're in for $7, or and then that's all you can lose. So there's various ways to do it, and without like losing your ass on it.
Yeah, especially if you're buying in $10 and you're winning like $400 or $500.
Right. like that, like
That's
I,
that's
once
a no brainer.
so yeah, once I won that the first tournament for the dollar tournament, and I was like, yeah, damn, I'm probably kind of playing pretty good right now. And then so I entered into that tournament, but I didn't realize it was gonna. It ended at like 9. It was basically almost 5 hours exactly. I didn't realize that, but I guess it's not 5 hours for everybody. It's only 5 hours if you win.
Yeah, it's only
So
if you're.
I have to block out like that much time because I plan on winning. You know,
Oh yeah,
two
definitely.
final tables in a 24-hour period,
Well, that's when you
and it's
told
low.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's low stakes, uh, but it's a serious tournament. I mean, people are there like playing. You know,
yeah, it's a lot of
it's
people.
impossible. Like I'm telling you, y'all, like if you think, oh, you got lucky, I dare you. Like you try the rest of your life and not beat 225 people in a tournament. So your boys,
Over here
I'm honing,
hustling.
I'm getting stronger.
They're like the Karate Kid, with poker.
This kid next to me at the live poker table, uh, he started calling me the all-in kid, and I didn't realize it, but like he was like a 22-year old, and it was like a Friday. It was like the Friday or Saturday night before Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
or no, the Wednesday, yeah, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving,
yeah.
and he was like, so he came like from the bars, kind of like faded, but not like too faded, and he was just like he had this like weird like surprised look on his face after I just won an all in hand. He goes, "Dude, I've seen you go all in like 5 times since I sat down, and you've won all of them." And then I realized that that is true. And then I won like a couple more all ins, and it was like a crazy run I was on.
He was hating on you.
Yeah. So I did go back. I guess no, I just
See,
outed myself.
yeah, you're just spilling the
The
beans, dude. You've been at the card house sign.
No,
Let's
just
go.
this one time. Just one time. It was the day before Thanksgiving. I was in Vancouver because my dad is in the hospital this whole week,
Yeah.
and he was finally getting out of the hospital that day. So I helped my mom get him like into the car, and then my brother was home. So I had I only bought in 60. So
What's the braids up to, man? It's like
he's here.
glow.
Like so, basically, we Brady and I are basically staying at the parents because my dad like can't like he used to be able to walk with like a cane at least a
Yeah.
little bit, but now he's completely immobile, and so it's just uh, w- it'd be impossible for my mom to do this by herself.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I'm
Yeah,
glad they got
so
you there.
yeah, it's nice, you know, chill.
Yeah. Shout out. Shout out
Shout out.
Briz. Shout out the fam. Well, then we got therapy questions.
That is true. Let's keep it moving. As we do, we start with therapy questions, y'all. And Joseph, therapy question number 1. Would you rather smell like poop all the time and not be able to smell it yourself, or have your significant other smell like poop and have to smell it all the time?
But it's not poop. They just smell like poop.
Right. I mean, after a while, I think you get okay with it being actual poop. The smell is the problem.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, if
Once
you're.
you have fecal matter on yourself for like 7 days straight, it's like whatever. It's just a part of me at this point.
Well,
So
yeah,
it doesn't
but.
really matter. But yeah, okay. We'll just say
But
it
yeah,
smells like.
yeah, you just smell like it. It's not like you're walking around with shit and you can smell it. Because then it's like, I don't know. I'd choose none. I choose to not exist. But I guess I'd rather not smell like poop. I don't want to smell like poop.
I don't either.
But
But
if
I
I have
also
this
still
poop
want my
curse,
significant other.
yeah, and that's like a poop curse. That means anyone you date is gonna smell like poop. It doesn't matter. That's like the curse.
I didn't think about that.
Like,
So
right?
you can still get out of the
So,
relationship.
so,
It's just
so you could like, yeah, you could bounce and like slowly over time the poop smell creeps up and you're like, hey, you're starting to smell like poop, and then
no,
they'd be
they're
like,
always,
hey,
they're not starting. They're
after
always. And that's not how it works. You don't
after
go-
we broke up, you know, I started to smell better, so it'd almost be like a good thing. It'd be like, you know what I'm saying?
So you're doing them a favor.
Yeah, it'd be like, you know, like you'd be.
Except for you're putting the poop curse on.
Yeah, but they
to
don't
begin
know.
with.
But you know, you gotta.
Okay, so you're not really doing them a favor.
So
You're
then
just
I'd rather,
being
yeah,
selfish.
rather not smell like poop, because then you could also just like be a monk and not date
that's
at
true.
all, and then you
Or
wouldn't
just
not
be
put the
single.
poop curse. You don't
Yeah,
want to put
don't
the
even
poop
don't
curse.
ever have a girlfriend. Just hook
Oh,
up with randos.
but then
Or
like,
just don't not even randos. Just don't ever make it official. Say like you're allergic to like titles.
and then that's how you avoid it. So then they never really smell like poop because that's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
curse loophole.
We hacked it, dude.
That's incredible.
Okay, so
Because if
but
you
no,
smell
but
like
listen to
poop
this.
and you don't know, then it's like your friends will be half like charity cases because you'll always just smell like poop. It doesn't matter what
Okay,
you
but
do.
like,
That'd be
yeah,
terrible.
but it is a problem with a significant other because this is a thing that like still haunts me to today. When I was 16, this super hot 19-year-old girl like was like into me, and she came over to like the game room and
Oh
like
my god.
at our parents' house in Texas, and we were watching a movie, and she put like her head on my shoulders, and like ja boy is about to hook up with like an adult hot chick, and she has the worst breath I've ever smelled. And like, and she put her head on my shoulder, like from behind. So like, I'm just like, it's just like all up in my face. And your boy just couldn't pull the trigger, like she obviously wanted to hook up. Like she's
Right.
a
Right.
lady,
But
but I just couldn't do it because it was so bad. And then I think back, I'm like, God damn, like I can't believe I didn't like have sex with that super hot chick when I was 16. But it's like, I remember how bad, it was like, you know, it was almost like because I was 16, it would have been so cool that like I should have overrid it. But like, and nowadays, like if a chick had bad breath, I wouldn't even, I'd be like, bye bye. I've had sex before.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, the
So
thing.
like, if your significant other is smelling bad, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
Could
but
be
I
like,
mean, if I smell bad, then you'll. It's like
yeah,
you'll.
yeah, because
Because when
yeah,
I'm
because
driving by
you go
myself,
to
that means my
work.
car will smell like shit. I'm
Yeah,
at
you're
work,
right.
I
Yeah,
smell like shit.
yeah.
Everywhere I
So
go, I
fuck,
smell like shit.
fuck it. Yeah, give it to somebody else, and you just
I walk
tolerate it
into
some of the time.
I walk into Denny's to get eggs over my hammy, and I guess what? I smell. I'm that guy that smells like shit. Oh, that guy comes in here every week, and he smells like shit. No, I'd rather like be alone or be a monk
Yeah,
or
or don't
something,
just get a girlfriend who smells like shit and then just cheat on her.
and then or yeah, then you're supposed to smell like shit. But no, you couldn't. Like I wouldn't. I you would have to. I don't know if I'd want to put the shit curse on anyone. That's not worth it. And at least if I don't smell like it, I can control if other people smell like shit or not. I wouldn't want wish that on anyone. That'd be terrible, especially on myself. So like
No,
me
I
smelling
know,
like
but
and
like,
not knowing, be like, hey guys, and be like, ugh, nah, man, I'm not doing
so well, yeah, I think
it.
you have
Not
to,
doing
yeah,
it. I'm not
yeah,
doing
because
it.
what's the point of getting in a relationship if you know you're just gonna cheat? So I would say just stay out of relationships at that point, and but definitely put the poop curse on somebody else because you can't take that. You can't take the poop
Yeah, you
curse
can't take the poop curse, and I don't
because
like.
once you take the poop curse, everything, your whole life
Yeah,
is
I'm choosing.
you're depressed.
Do I curse myself or do I
Yeah,
have the ability to curse others? And I'd rather have the ability to curse others and just
right.
not exercise that power unless you're
Yeah,
like a dick. Like
right.
you could just go be like a
That you go you get into
shit Batman. Yeah, you could purposely get in people's
serial relationship.
in
Oh,
relationships with people to make them smell like poop and
convert to
sabotage.
Mormonism, so then you have like 8 wives, so you got 8 people smelling like shit
Just
at
got
a
the
time.
whole church smelling like shit.
Oh, dude, you
That's
start a cult, and now everybody smells like shit.
that's
The
incredible.
cult of smelling like shit. I think a lot of people in cults probably already smell like shit. But then well, as I say that, I think there's a lot of like
Oh,
cults
I
like
watched this other HBO documentary about this Love is One cult. About this like mother god chick and these people with crystals, and she was like channeling Robin Williams. It was like the wildest, so stupid. I can't. It was so dumb. It made like my head hurt, but it was fascinating. These people buying into this woman that she's like Mother Earth, and she can channel all of these other people and entities, and like what the main one that talks to her is Robin Williams, the ghost of Robin Williams,
that's. I mean, out of all the people, that's pretty tight.
and they're all a part of this like Galactus group, and they're
But what?
coming
What?
in
Hold on. What
starships.
Robin Williams are we getting? Are we getting coked up on like stand-up stage, or are we getting like Patch Adams?
I think we're getting like
Mrs. Doubtfire,
I think
Peter Pan.
I think we're getting I think we're getting Mork and Mindy, Robin Williams. So like
So
yeah,
like
so like Pete,
prime,
yeah, like
coming
prime,
up.
yeah, like coming up, and he's high as hell, Robin
Oh
Williams.
fuck yeah, he
And
is.
she would like drink, and her whole thing was to like she needed to raise the consciousness of the planet. It was like the wildest shit ever. And she had all these people living in her house. She was drinking like that liquid silver shit that was turning her skin blue. This woman just like died of liver poisoning, like liver failure, because she was just like an alcoholic and never ate. But these people thought she was like God and like drove her
And
around the
God, and
country.
God is Robin Williams'
She
ghost.
it did all these live streams, and it was the weirdest, cringiest shit ever. Just like Robin Williams told us that the starships are coming.
You know what we should do is spoiler alerts, on these docs because you just randomly bring it up and now you know you've explained it all to everybody.
No,
What if
not
they wanted to
even,
watch?
not
What
even.
if it was in their queue?
They should still watch it. It's fucking crazy. That doesn't do it justice. I'm just trying to give an outline. This happened in the news. Then they were like, "Hey, this crazy bitch died." But she was,
That's what they said.
yeah, basically. I'm not gonna talk about how she died or any of that stuff. I mean, bitch ain't around. That's pretty clear from the beginning of the documentary. But it's a wild ass story, and it's just doesn't make any sense. It's a cult about channeling Robin Williams from a spaceship. That does,
I mean, I
the
like
bat
that.
from Fern Gully is gonna save the planet.
Fuck yeah, dude. Very nice.
Although if
Very
Robin
deep
Williams
take.
did come back, if Robin
Or
Williams
deep cut, I should say.
if Robin Williams comes back to this planet in any Robin Williams character to save the planet, which Robin Williams character do you want? Do you want the genie from Aladdin? Do you want the bat
Yeah.
from Fern Gully? Do
Yeah,
you
the
do you want
genie,
Miss
the
Do you want
genie.
Miss Doubtfire? Do you want
What
Jack?
the fuck is Best Doubtfire? No, no. The fucking genie can just save it. And
Well,
we'll be
either
done
way,
with fucking
the
this.
world's being saved. It's just which version of Robin
Oh,
Williams
I
do you
see.
want? Like, because any
I
of them is
see.
going to save the planet. It's like there's
I
a
want coked up with Robin Williams because you know what? You know what? He's got coke.
like in like a Hawaiian button-up shirt and some khaki
And
pants
like
and like
arm hair.
Birkenstocks and just like yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Real quick before I forget, because I've got the CNN on here in the background, and they're replaying the first ever show of King Charles, Gail King, and Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
And who's the guy who's with Fonnie Willis down in Georgia on trial, the rapper?
Oh, Young Thug.
Yeah. So Young Thug, like they're using his lyrics against him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they had Fat Joe on as a guest. And they're like, so what do you think, Fat Joe? And he's like, man, this is horrible, man. This is terrible. He's like, I've been a professional rapper for 30 years, and I've lied about 95% of the time. He's like, I'm a family man. Like, I don't do any of this shit. I just, he was like, I'm just being creative. He's like, man, none of my lyrics are true. And I thought that was refreshing.
There was a couple videos where he said his lawyer was like, Thug stands for truly humble under God. Is what Young Thug stands for. That's the picture for today's podcast. That's Young Thug. That's a Young Thug picture.
Well, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and then Young Thug, the song and all the little videos are all that's all Young Thug.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, like I guess
free slime. Let's go, dude. Let's
yeah,
go.
well, like the equivalent for me, I guess would be like it because I don't rap about like murdering people, but I do rap about murdering pussy because I just thought like
Jesus Christ.
Well, because beat the pussy up was like a thing in hip hop, and I was like, what's better than beat? I was trying to escalate it, be more clever, and then eventually I got to like burying the pussy at Arlington Cemetery and playing taps, like. But so like be me like getting framed in a sexual assault case and like look at all the times he said he murders pussy, like, and then I'd be like, oh come on, man.
Yeah,
But
well, no, but
the
they
thing is,
have
Young
other
Thug
stuff.
Young Thug's actually involved in racketeering and murder.
Yeah, like getting people shot and doing
Right.
all this other stuff. So he's definitely
Right.
not made the best decisions.
And-
But free
and the lyrics
free
they're
slime,
using-
free
And
slime.
the lyrics they're using is like he talks about like the DA and his lawyers and the judge in it, so it's like very specific.
Yeah, but I
He
mean,
talks about $2 million he paid to his lawyers to get him off for all the killings was a quote in one of his raps. It's like, come on, like that's. And they have like a check for $2 million. Like,
yeah, but there's
more
other ones.
specific.
I guess there was, there's a little Yachty line from Minnesota, which is a very great but annoying as fuck song. And he talks about paying his lawyer to get him off on credit card scams and how he almost did like a shit ton of time. And then he like had to pay him like 180 grand or something like that.
Well, the thing with that is that he can't suffer double jeopardy. If he's already innocent, then you can talk about it.
Yeah.
But the problem with Young Thug is he's on trial, so it's not
Well, I
fair.
think he hadn't been on trial for it yet. So now they're using it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
they can use it against him, whereas Lil Yachty can talk about it because he already got off.
Yeah, and it's like,
It's like O.J. Simpson writing the book. If I did it,
yeah, incredible.
yeah,
There's a picture.
incredible hubris.
There's a picture of OJ out at some bar surrounded by like 10,
White
like,
girls.
yeah, like white 25-year-old girls. It was the wildest
He's got
thing
a
ever.
type. He's
It's
got a
like,
type.
dude, well, it's like, I don't, how, it's just
Dude,
wild. He just
he was
roams around.
he was the best football player in the world. He was in movies like
The thing
you
about it,
know
he just roams around like by himself, like showing up to bars and just has people like flood him. They're like, "It's
is
OJ
AC not with him?
Simpson,"
Is AC
and
not always with him?
he's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like that's wild. OJ
Dude,
is
isn't there something that some girls that with red flags, and by the way, audience, red flags are green flags for me, but like some broken girls, daddy issues, that having sex with OJ, like, and potentially getting murdered might be hot to them.
that's crazy.
I'm sure there's some of y'all running around apparently.
But OJ's like up there in age now too.
Ew, black don't crack.
I
And
mean,
he's probably like, what is he, like 6'4" or something?
how long was he in prison? Because he had that. He was in.
Not long enough
Well, he was in jail for quite a while in
for
Vegas with that
robbing
whole
his own
getting his stuff
memorabilia.
back. Yeah, that shit was wild too. I watched that trial and it was totally just everybody being like, "Fuck you, OJ,"
Yeah,
because there was
there's
like
no way you're
people who
getting out of
like
that.
showed up with guns that he didn't know they had guns.
Yeah, there was like a guy with a gun so they walk into a hotel room where this guy's got all of his memorabilia that OJ
That's
like doesn't
stolen.
want being
That's
yeah.
stolen
And then
memorabilia.
And then OJ walks in, but because they walk in, the guy owned the memorabilia, and one of the guys that OJ was with had a gun. It's like armed robbery, and if you're just,
And like
this is what I always say, like
kidnapping.
yeah, it's like first 48. Oh yeah, because they wouldn't let him leave the room, so that's kidnapping.
And they lock it. There's an audio recording of all of it and like
Right.
leading up to it. And then they end up like leaving, getting some of the stuff, leaving. But then all the guys who were in it, including the dude with the gun, they all took plea deals for essentially immunity to put OJ away for like 10 years. And that's why
Yeah.
OJ was in prison for getting some of his shit that was stolen back. But he literally, like, everybody.
But I mean, this is what I was trying to say. It's like this is what I always try to educate our youth out there, because over 50% of our audience is younger than us, and if y'all are gonna be caught up in some like licks or whatever you kids call it, if you're in the
That's old
car
school.
and somebody like committing a crime and you're not even you don't do anything, but you're riding with these people and someone something happens, you're just as guilty as them. So, first of all, think about that before you try to get involved in something like that. But second of all, don't think that you could just tell the cops that you were there, and then think that you're gonna get off. Like, you know.
Well, yeah, that
So,
happens all the time. It's like
I
if
know, but
you're,
but that's how it happens. It's like, oh, I was just in the back seat. I was in the back seat. It's like, okay, so it did happen. You were there. Everybody's getting charged.
one of my favorite podcasts, Crime and Sports. Shout out Crime and Sports. They always say like
They
we're
better
about to
start
get,
paying us.
we're gonna get in this car and like we're gonna go on this journey. And like if we rob a liquor store and I run in there and rob it and people get shot and they are deceased and you're just a getaway driver, you get charged with murder. It's like, especially in the state of Texas. Some states it's a little bit different, but most of the time, I mean, it's got to be something wild. Like you're in the car, they're running from the cops. You're
Yeah, like, it'd be
you're
like
the
if you
one who
got
called the
kidnapped.
cops,
Yeah,
and you're
right.
like, hey, they won't let me out of the car. You dive out of the car, you still get attacked by a dog, but then they realize that you didn't do shit, and you were like actually kidnapped or some shit or held against your will.
Right.
It'd be like really hard to not
Yeah,
get in trouble for that.
99% of the time, you're going down for murder, not like a lesser degree of murder, the exact same charge.
Yeah, why were you hanging out with them? Should have gotten out of the car at Wendy's.
Right.
Should have gotten that 5 for 5 deal at Arby's.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty delicious now, huh? But you said you don't like Arby's.
Right.
25 to life.
Sick. For what?
And then he said they're eating a chicken bacon Swiss. Like,
That reminds me of when I was living in the condo with the ex. We had a roommate. It was like one of her friends, and she got a dog like 3 weeks in without telling us. Because good roommates. But she used to cook salmon for the dog, and like she would cook it like on the skillet, and like and it, like super high like temperature, so like all the oil and shit is just like smoking, and our entire condo would smell like salmon.
yeah.
So it was like really annoying. And then one time I walked in the door, and she was doing that, but while she was eating a Carl's Jr. fish sandwich. So she's eating a Carl's Jr. fish sandwich while cooking her dog salmon,
Fresh salmon.
and I was lost. It did.
That's weird.
Yeah. Therapy question number 2, Joseph. Would you rather watch strangers have sex or have strangers watch you have sex? I just put this in here because I just personally want to know.
Probably will watch strangers because that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want you guys. I'm good.
Because you don't know, because they're strangers, so you don't know what they're all about. I'd rather not be in that vulnerable position than I'll just watch strangers and hopefully they're hot, I guess.
If they're not, it'd be like, interesting. You'd be like,
Yeah, it's
well,
like-
you do like extra commentary. It'd be,
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about
it'd
that.
be a mixed bag. Yeah, like
I was thinking like standing there silently and awkwardly.
you could like.
No, just
No,
like,
you could make it difficult for them, make them uncomfortable.
Why would I do-
That'd be
why would I do
funny.
that?
That could be funny. That could be like some,
but it's definitely probably
some
the better
risky
of the
art.
two.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather than just having some weirdo sit there and watch me. Be like, hey, you good, man?
It'd be more than one because it says strangers.
Yeah, so it'd be I think imagine like another couple just standing there.
Yeah, whoever it is, you're rolling the dice with it, and I'd rather just roll the dice with what I see visually as
Feel
opposed to.
Like, oh, well, don't quit nodding at me, bro. That'd be
No,
weird.
I guess I would then if somebody was watching, I'd have to strangers. I would have to do doggy style where we're both facing them and just have it
Stare them in the eyes.
See who wins that one.
They just leave like broken. They're like, I can't.
He's like, I win
That's some form of that'd be a showdown. Yeah,
because you don't
yeah,
murder the pussy.
yeah. I guess I'd want to watch. I'd want to keep my eye on them. I wouldn't want them to be like
Your
out of
back to 'em.
my who knows what they're doing behind me.
Yeah.
So I want to
Sneak
keep
up
my
on you.
keep my eyes
dude.
on you.
That's why you don't bend down.
Yeah,
in the
like they
shower in
maybe
prison.
they slowly like keep walking closer towards you. It's like no man, like I'd rather like I'd rather be.
How about this? If there was like some sort of like partition, like you were like in a room that was closed off, but they could watch through like the window or something. Okay, that changes the game.
Yeah, but I mean
Now I'm just having sex.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like no, like they got to be. They're in the room. They're within.
Yeah, if they're in the room.
They're
like,
in a box. It's
fuck that.
it's an 8x8 room, and they're in there with you.
Oh.
Doors open. Doors open.
8x8's pretty small because
Yeah,
my room was pretty small in
there.
Texas. And it
That's
was
what I'm
11
saying.
by
I
11.
gotta keep my eyes on you, man. You get in that corner. You sit the fuck over there, man. You chill out.
That's like that. Imagine if it was OJ and one of those white.
Yeah,
guys,
OJ's just over there one night. Hell yeah, man.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, the juice is loose.
The juice is loose. Therapy question number 3. Would you rather only be able to eat with your feet or only be able to walk on your hands?
Only be able to eat with my feet. Well, only being able to walk on your hands would be so inconvenient. Like stairs.
It's insanity.
That'd be nuts. You couldn't
Yeah,
carry.
you might as well be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you can't carry shit.
Right. And
So-
then eat with your feet, you can just eat privately.
Yeah, and just be like, yeah, no, I'll meet you guys after dinner.
Because I only could eat with my feet. And they're like, what? And be like, dude, the alternative was that I have to walk on my hands the rest of my life.
And then
Which one would you pick?
then you could make it something that you do. You could make like a whole like following, right?
Oh, well, maybe like an OnlyFans.
Yeah, only feet cooking, and just
yeah.
cook meals with your feet.
Oh my God, dude, you would make so much.
You would
money
make
because,
so much money.
because of the novelty of it. Like people would be like,
And
oh,
like
this is
risotto and like
and being on OnlyFans, which is known for feet, and like this, like you'd be the king foot.
yeah, oh yeah, you'd be king
Bigfoot.
King Bigfoot cooking. Let's go, dude. That's good.
Copyrighted by Talk Shit Media.
Yeah, that's genius. You could
And
easily.
guess what? Guess what? Subscriptions to our OnlyFans Bigfoot site take Christ coin.
Oh, of course.
No transaction fee for Christ coin.
Yeah, zero. We do
No
the
gas fees.
we do the processing for you.
That's right. Well, Christ does.
Yeah, because yeah, obviously, I mean
Yeah.
that's what he does.
Yeah.
It's like
He also is our accountant. So
it's
if
like
there's any tax issues, talk to him.
talk to God, bro.
Yeah.
On
Because if you want to ask us about our fiscal and financial policies, just read the Bible, like
uh,
Mike Johnson said.
speak to the big man upstairs.
Well, I don't have any bank accounts, and I've got kids and a wife. You know,
Take a number. He's busy. You know what I'm saying? He'll call you back. Talk to the big man,
right.
bro.
That's right. That's right. Bigfoot cooking on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you can do that because then it'd also be weird because then you're walking on your hands everywhere, but then you're like riding with them, and when you're sitting in a chair, you're doing normal shit with your hands. And it's only when you walk. So
Yeah, so
people
now
would just be
your
like,
hands are doing
"What?"
double duty. You're
Yeah.
got hand issues, and like, what if you have to run like from something?
Oh yeah, it
And
always looked like you skipped leg day. You just have these little like dangly things now, man.
yeah, as long as I was like capable of eating with my feet, you know, 'cause
Yeah,
I am not flexible. So as long as there was like a possibility that I could make it happen,
yeah,
instead if it's like just your flexibility right now, I mean, it'd be hard. I guess I could do yoga and try to get there, but I
yeah,
don't know if I learn enough yoga in time before I starve to death.
yeah. If you could do stuff like that, yeah, you could be huge. Nobody would
Yeah,
ever see your face. You just get some special seat that's like raised up. You could cook and like stir stuff and flip pans. All the people would be like, "Oh my god, oh."
yeah,
You'd make
and nobody
tons of
knows what
money.
you look like,
Yeah,
and that
it'd
could
be
be
all
part of the shtick.
yep, it'd be all mysterious.
Yeah. Be like one of those fucking rappers wearing a ski mask, and then they realize like a year later they still have to wear a ski mask everywhere they go, and they probably like are depressed and hate themselves. That
Yeah,
you know, or like the DJ Marshmallow.
yeah.
He wears the he no was it Mar
There's a couple
uh
of them who wear their
it
bucket
was
heads and shit.
I forget if it was Marshmallow or Dead Mouse, but they're performing at this like pool party in San Diego. I forget what it's called, but it's like every Sunday, and it's like a huge thing. And they pass the fuck out in the middle of it 'cause it's like 90 degrees like outside, and it's like see, like that's the discussion I would have with like my manager and homies before I call myself or decide that I'm gonna wear like something on my head as my performance. All you need to tell me is like, dude, think about it. Like you play outdoors at a festival, and you're gonna be, and then times that by every festival, every show, and then be like, yeah, I'm not gonna lock
Yeah,
myself in.
I would do some like MF Doom shit where I'd have like an alias that I'd just go do shows, small
Right,
shows.
like he
underneath
was
a
the
different
original on that, but like, but there's nobody like MF Doom. Like he's
Well, I'm just saying and stuff. So what I'm saying is, if I went and did other shows and I didn't want to wear my fucking helmet because I'm not in a climate controlled arena,
that you would do him as
I
somebody
would
else.
do is as somebody else, so nobody would know what I actually looked like, and I just go do these small gigs and do like wild, weird shit, and then go do other shows, and then.
But the thing is, you're not getting MF Dude money, when you're doing those shows.
But it wouldn't matter, especially if you have like it wouldn't matter because you already have it.
That's true. If you ever need to get the bag, you could go do the show.
You'd be on. You could go do like random secret shows on tour under an alias, and just build up hype around an alias, and then at some point, then you could have a big concert and something where like you reveal that you are one and the same person. Everyone's like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, that'd
Well,
be epic."
I read the Tao of the Wu by the RZA from Wu Tang, and he's a big proponent of having multiple aliases. So like he came out, so he produced like the original Wu Tang album, and then Old Dirty Bastard's first album, and then Method Man's, and then when he came out with his first album, he came out as Bobby Digital,
Yeah,
and it didn't tell anybody that it was the RZA. So kind of exactly what you're saying.
yeah. Just have
Except for
crates.
he just wasn't putting a fucking ski mask on his face like to go play Coachella.
Well, yeah, we'll see. And like Doom used to send out imposters of him to go do concerts. So sometimes he wouldn't. So there's some people who've been to like seen MF Doom at a festival, and it might have actually been him, or it could have been like
Dude, that sounds like fraud.
an imposter. He would go do weird, goofy shit like that all the time.
I mean, it sounds kind of like Andy Kaufman type shit, but it also sounds like fraud type shit. It's like I paid for MF Doom, and you put a not MF Doom out there. Like, I know these like waivers that I have to sign with Live Nation are like 50 pages, but I'm sure that's not in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
So, lawyer.
Or like at public appearances, sending like doubles.
Well, that's one thing, but like people paying like
Because it's like the
500 for a
whole,
festival,
it adds to his mystique.
right?
Oh no, like big festivals and stuff, he'd do those, but like
But you
random,
just
like
said festival.
sometimes there's some people who say like I've seen him in concert at this place or I saw this, and I don't actually think it was him. I think it was like an imposter. There's like a whole mythology around
that's
it.
the kind of thing he wants. Is like that's just inevitably going to happen when you act as mysterious as him. That rumors are going to start spreading, and so
It's like the whole mystique. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
To really dive into your persona, like that would be awesome. So if you were a DJ and you wore a fucking marshmallow bucket head, you could easily do that and
have
get
anybody
away.
DJ for you.
Yeah, and you could get away with it, and then at some point build it up to where they cross paths, and then you could be like, "Oh, that's all my shit."
Yeah, until somebody's like angry, and then it's like, oh, I actually DJ for Marshmallow at you know, like whatever festival, lightning in a bottle, and then everybody's like, what? Fuck that, bro, fuck Marshmallow.
You'd have to build it up till it would be one big concert, and then it'd be
Right,
like,
right. I'm just saying, like, you have to trust whoever you're letting DJ.
"Oh yeah, that would take like the best." Like, well, no, you would DJ both. So what I'm saying is you could just create an alias and go as them because no one knows what your face is like at all.
Instead of somebody putting the marshmallow hat on.
Yeah, you could just do big shows as Marshmallow, and then you could do
And then
other shows as just your normal self, and nobody would know. And then you could try to build up that alias because you could just go do random shows, like smaller gigs for like shit pay, but you could test out music and do all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd still
so
have
you
a
get-
management
so you
team
get
that could
two,
help
yeah.
you get those gigs.
Then
So
that really is Andy Kaufman because he had the character that he played. What's the guy's name? You know, who's like, did you watch Man on the Moon?
yeah, it's been forever.
No, I know, but he would like dress up as this guy, and everybody thought they were two different people at a time, and he was like just like this like insult comic, but he was just like a drunk mess, and nobody ever knew, or they eventually found out, but they didn't know that it was Andy Kaufman the whole time. Like he would like be like, oh, Andy Kaufman's not here, and then this guy would come up and just, but it was him.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it was his manager. So occasionally it'd be his manager, who like was Paul Giamatti in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Tony Clifton, that's his name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I knew I wouldn't forget that because I fucking love that shit. All right. Final therapy question. Therapy question number 4. Would you rather lick a dirty trash can or the bathroom floor?
Probably dirty trash can.
Let me hit you here. Dirty trash cans don't ever get clean. The bathroom floor, if we're like in an office, getting cleaned every day.
Oh,
You might
well,
hit
yeah.
You might
well,
hit
yeah.
it with it. It's kind of clean.
Well, yeah. Well, mate, that's, I don't know. It's like, do I have a choice? Is it a full-size bathroom and I get to choose where I lick the floor?
You don't get to choose, but I'm saying that a dirty trash can is a dirty trash can is a dirty trash can.
Yeah, but like
And
a
bathroom
floor
you have at least
by a toilet in a public restroom or a floor underneath a urinal in a public bathroom is a floor underneath a urinal.
But there could also be piss in a trash can. I'm saying you're rolling the dice here, both bad options, but there is a potential you catch the bathroom right after the master of the custodial arts comes out, and
I highly
you're just
doubt
looking.
that. I highly doubt that.
There is no option on a dirty trash can. It says dirty in it. It doesn't say dirty bathroom floor.
I just gotta lick a dirty trash can.
Okay.
I could choose where I lick it.
You might just get to lick a dirty tile, or I mean, a clean tile in a bathroom.
Nah, man, bathroom floors. Nah, man. Which would you pick?
I don't know. Now that I know, I just thought about it.
At least I had a definitive answer. You're like, I don't know, man.
No, mine was definitive bathroom floor because of my reasoning that it could be clean. But
Trash cans have trash bags in them too. So you have a trash bag and a trash can. So if it's not a disgusting ass trash can, you have a likelihood of there being a bag. So you take the bag out. I'm not licking the inside of a trash bag.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll take trash can. Yeah, trash can. Bathroom floor.
Get me out of here. Yeah.
Who knows, dude? People do weird shit in bathrooms.
Hell yeah.
Like.
But you could be looking up some coke, like in the stall.
No, man. Or you could be.
I feel like people do that a lot at the poker room, or not a lot, but the poker room. It's not like not everybody is doing coke, not even close, but everybody does coke. So probably coming to that poker room.
Okay.
So like there'll be like a guy every now and then, depending what time you're there, and they, like pee in the urinal and then go into the stall, and I'm just like, okay,
Live it up there, Jerry.
yeah,
Get you some Jer Bear.
yeah, because I feel like cocaine and casinos are anonymous, even though this
You
is
got
an
those
outrageous
you got those pocket
casino.
aces last time. You did pretty good there, Jer. I think you deserve that. I think you deserve that. Oh man.
But I think I said it before. Like every hour I take a marijuana break,
Yeah.
and I'm doing it quickly. So what I do is like right after the big blind, and I try to get back before the next big blind, so that way I don't miss it and have to. It's not really a big deal. You just pay $3 instead of two, but so that's what my goal is. And I now I'm thinking like I wonder if people are using the fact that I smell like weed to like in their judgment of
Oh
whether
yeah.
they're
Oh
and
yeah.
well that's dude to their own
Mhm.
demise
So
because
that's what I would do is whenever I would play with like all my buddies and stuff, we'd play every Monday. It'd be like huge pots, and there was like 9 of us who would sit there and play. And I'd always like bring some weed, I'd pipe, I'd be sitting there smoking while we're playing and chatting and doing whatever. And people would be like, "Oh, I'm not paying attention," and it's like, "Oh, like four of a kind." And like just like shit, I'm just
yeah
like
you were saying that
raking up, like just raking.
that's
At,
funny because that
after like
kid
the
was
fourth or fifth time, they would stop. They were like, "Nah, man, don't give me any weed. Like, fuck off." Da da da. And they'd be also be like, "No, like just because you're smoking doesn't mean you're not paying attention." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm
right
just like gonna chat and be myself and let myself be the fact that I'm like actually watching what everyone's doing and paying attention."
yeah you're being non-discreet
Yeah.
or being discreet I don't know but that kid who no pun intended called me the all-in kid when he first sat down. So he's sitting right next to my left, and he's like, when he first got the big blind, he's like, "How much is the big blind?" I was like, "It's two." And then he asked like another like super basic question, and I was like, and I think everybody's like, "Oh, this kid doesn't know what the fuck he's doing." I'm like, "Dude, I was like, you're going way too hard on the hustle play here." You know, like sitting down, like, "What's the big blind?" Is kings better than queens? And then really you're just about to wreck everybody.
Yeah.
But no, no, I think he was just that.
That
He's like,
man.
I've played poker before. I was like, okay.
Says I was going to the Blimpie next door, and I just saw this place that took cards. And I was like, man, I haven't played cards in a while. So, what are we playing, guys?
Yeah, that's how you get murdered if you. Because there's a casino out in LA called Commerce, and like it's like famous for you getting robbed or beat up in the parking lot, depending on what happened to who. Like so it's like pretty rough. So like people come to the poker room that I'm at, and it's like literally panoramic view of the ocean. It's like the calmest thing ever, and it's just chill. And they're like, man, this is so different. Like because you have to be like worried about getting stabbed at the other one.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because those are kind of the two closest ones that aren't on Indian reservations. So, but they're like I'm like right in the middle. Well, I'm actually way closer to the, not way, but like closer to the players one. But one's like to the south, one's to the north.
Okay. So we've both decided trash can over bathroom floor.
Yeah, might as well.
That's fair. All right, well, let's get into articles. First article from NPR. There was 1,000 articles. This came out at 9:23 p.m. today. Henry Kissinger, legendary diplomat and foreign policy scholar, dies at 100. That was
Oh man, could you imagine like just mass murdering people and then in your obituary, the first line is just you're a scholar.
Secretary of State and National Security Advisor to President Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. Kissinger played the major behind the scenes role in building the architecture that enabled more manageable relations with the Soviet Union, China, and most Arab nations. At the time, he was closely associated with some of the most controversial U.S. foreign policy moves in recent decades by promoting intensive bombing campaigns in Southeast Asia and reportedly turning a blind eye to human rights abuses by governments perceived to be supportive of U.S. interests. Facts. I mean, this guy was an enabler, was propping up dictators, mass bombing innocent people in the names of others. I mean, Henry Kissinger's a war criminal. I don't think.
He's
I
like the definition of.
The fact that he's been just wandering around is mind-boggling.
in polite society. I know it's insane. It's not even wandering around. Like he's like putting them on like fucking talk shows and like literally like the who's who of like DC and like Hollywood. Like showing up at his fucking birthday party just a few months ago. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean he was responsible, not responsible, but played a role in us going into the war in Iraq and Afghanistan because he was still an advisor. This guy's been an
But
advisor.
everybody, I think even Obama asked
Yeah,
him questions.
foreign
It's like, what
foreign
are you
policy advisor since post World War II. He's been involved in our government and has been deciding how we've been like the decisions that we've been making. Now, I mean, his family escaped the Holocaust, escaped Germany, came here. He's got a crazy story. But then once as he reached office, came into power, he's a lot of the things that people talk about when we discuss like the atrocities our government's done around the world, or things that we've done, or coup attempts and dictators we've supported, and our the timeline,
allegedly?
the full timeline of like, I mean, shit, the U.S.'s involvement in the war with Israel and Palestine and the conflict and the occupation of the Western Bank. This guy's played a role in any big major foreign policy decision that's happened in the past like 50 some odd years.
Yeah.
Plus 50 plus.
I always found it like hot, like, and this is like no disrespect, even though he deserves no respect, but like his accent was so thick that it was like hard. Like if I'd be listening to a podcast, he'd be on there. It's like almost hard to like listen to him. Like, but I found out this dude was like the ladies' man in DC back in the day. Like apparently he was just like fucking everybody, and I was like that guy because he looks like a fucking like gremlin, like like this old, like and but I look back. I mean, he wasn't like the best looking dude, but he definitely looks like a normal human being as opposed to like whatever the fuck he turned into.
I'm sure he was pretty suave, and he had a lot of power and a lot of influence in DC. So he's a big major player in like that circuit, and was for forever. I mean, he held on to his power for forever. I
know,
mean,
but like
shit,
he's like
up until
he,
maybe like what five
yesterday.
six like 5 6 years ago. I don't know
No,
what the
I'm sure
conversations
Trump
were.
talked to him.
I'm not sure what the conversations were like because I don't know like how actually verbal he really was, but
He was no like I saw him this year on an interview because I know it was this year because it was like they were talking about how he's about to be 100 or whatever. But but just think about it, like because I just picture him as this old weirdo uh because he's 100, and so like he was already 64 when we were born,
yeah.
and then when I started paying attention, like maybe like 10 years later, so he was 74. And I can't believe he's been around like what 100 is real. It's like to me it's like I just lump in like you lived to 80, you lived to 100, kind of the same thing. It's like not really, dude. Like you could be 75 and think this is over, but you got 25 more years to get to 100.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of our barbaric tactics, like you said, in North Vietnam, just he indiscriminately. Kissinger and Luc Detou won the 1973 Nobel Peace Prize for their
So, yeah,
efforts, but their
sick.
agreements did not end the war, so they got a Nobel Peace Prize for not ending the Vietnam War. That's pretty stupid.
I know, and Nixon was secretly negotiating with the North Vietnamese to not end the war uh, until Nixon came into office instead of LBJ. And then they would give him a better deal, and then this guy wins the Nobel Peace Prize. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, he's no
Piece
longer
of
with
shit.
us. He was a piece of shit while he was here. At least
We
throughout
apologize
our
to the rest of the world.
yeah. I mean, he's done irreparable damage, and that's like a lot of our tensions in foreign relations. You could go issues with Iran. I mean, because he was making decisions then since what end of World War II, middle like shortly thereafter.
I mean, I don't know if he was very involved, like with Eisenhower or Kennedy, but definitely after Kennedy
Oh
or
yeah, and
or
like
LBJ.
when he worked his way up the ranks. So I mean, he was
Right.
definitely a player as time continued.
Yeah, Nixon, Reagan,
And then when he
Bush.
came to power, I mean, he's just been clutching. There's a lot of stuff that people, like I said, like talk about, point at in our timeline in history. conspiracy theories and things where it's like, oh, we did this, or when people talk about, oh, how we're responsible when it comes to, I mean, we're talking about Cuba, Bay of Pigs, all this shit.
Yeah, I guess that was when Kennedy was there.
Yeah, all that. He was in the room helping make the decisions and
Yeah, maybe
guiding
he
stuff.
was. Yeah, yeah. Fuck.
It's
What an
crazy.
asshole.
Because at that point, he's like in his 30s.
Yeah, I mean, because he came over here from Germany. So
Yeah, he was a
he
teenager. He was like
yeah,
14, 15 when he got here.
he just got in the mix immediately and
Yeah,
never left.
yeah, fucking wild. So I mean, R.I.P.
I guess.
Yeah. Second article: Sandy Hook families offer to settle with Alex Jones on 1.5 billion debt. So Alex Jones has been going back. I can't believe this court case is still going on. I mean, I guess
Well, it's a different one, right? Because he already got like hit with like a couple Billy.
well, this is to adjust it to where now he only has.
Oh, they're like appealing it.
Yeah, because well, they won 1.5 billion is what he has to pay out, but now they're trying to cap it or make it 85 million over 10 years. So
Why?
Because he's not going to pay him.
So what? You can pay him. Try to.
Sandy Hook sued Jones for claims and won 1.5 billion in a judgment last year. Mr. Jones and his company Free Speech Systems have since filed for bankruptcy, but a judge ruled last month that it would not be released if from paying the settlement. There's a really funny clip where they're explaining to him that just because that he's not bankrupt, they know he's not bankrupt. Just because he's filed for bankruptcy doesn't mean that he doesn't have to pay these people. It's fucking hilarious because he's like half lying under oath. He's still making money. He's still selling. I mean, this is like peak time for him. This is like peak Alex Jones.
Election season.
And all the disinformation. Yeah, like all the disinformation
I
and
thought
shit.
he got deplatformed.
He still has his website, so you can still listen to him if you want to.
I didn't know that. I thought he was.
You just can't use like YouTube and those. He's like taken off of those platforms, but he's still out there.
You just go direct.
Yeah, you just got to go direct to the source. This new offer. What's up?
I was just gonna say real quick. Breaking news. Just a minute before the deadline, Israel and Hamas agreed to another truce and release of hostages.
They've just
Go on.
Okay, no, they've just been releasing, and it's like 2 day extensions.
I know, but this one was coming down literally like before we started. It was like 3 hours left, and they hadn't come up with the deal.
Shout out. In filings, the lawyers and family slammed Jones for continuing to enjoy his extravagant lifestyle since he's filed for bankruptcy. They noted that based on his monthly operations reporting, he's approximately 900. He's spent approximately basically $1 million since commencing bankruptcy proceedings. So he spent about $900K since he's filed for bankruptcy. They also criticizes lack of cooperation, poor record keeping. That sounds like what is it? Mr. Jones reveals that spending $100,000 per month, although he claims he has debts more than $1 million. I mean, he should just pay him.
No shit.
He does, I don't understand it. 1.5 billion. That's a pretty ludicrous settlement, but
no, it's not.
That's a lot. I mean, I don't know how you expect him to pay 1.5 billion. That's what I'm saying. Is that such an ass?
Get on your disinformation. Come on, bring in the supplement money, homie. The frogs are gay.
No, you can't. You can't do that because his disinformation is why he's being sued in the first place.
That's how he's still making money, and the money belongs to other people.
So 85 million. That sounds more like.
Well, why can't you just say 1.5, and then have him try to get there, and then that way you're not capping it at 85. If you could pay the 85, not the 1.5, give us 85, and then work on the rest.
Oh, I don't think he can pay the 85 right now.
So then we don't need to adjust it. If you can't even pay that, then just keep it at 1.5.
Is that the problem with these money settlements like this in the first place, where it's so hard for them to get paid out? There's so many loopholes. It's like OJ still owes the Brown and Simpson family or Goldstein family money. Goldberg, I'm sorry, and he doesn't have to pay it because they can't touch his NFL pension. So all of the money he gets in retirement from the NFL, they can't even touch that.
Why?
So because it's like off limits. There's some legality where that's like something. It's like off limits. It's like his pension. They can't garnish the money that he gets and the insurance and all that shit from the NFL. So that doesn't count.
Maybe that was like in a deal that they made.
I think that's something. I think that's in the
It's a law?
NFL. I think that's like the Players Association. Something.
Okay, the players. Hey,
Well, something in the
we
contract.
we
Well, I mean,
said
I don't know.
if you murder some people and get found guilty in a civil suit, can't touch his money. Players Association said so.
No, but there's people who, if you play for X amount of times, regardless of what you do, they still have health insurance and stuff through the league if you qualify.
I know,
think it's
but
5
that
years.
doesn't mean that. Who cares what the fucking NFL says? This is a court of law.
No, I know, and for some reason they can't touch OJ's NFL pension, which is like a big.
Okay, but I think it has to either be a law saying that, or they negotiated that in the settlement, because I don't like the NFL can't just come up with laws be like, oh, this money's off limits.
No, I think it's a legal issue. I think it's a legal.
Okay,
thing.
all right,
I think it's a legal.
either
thing.
way.
But whenever he wrote that book, and it was like, oh, if I did it, all that. That's why all got seized and snatched up by the family because he owed them money. So all the rights to anything he ever did or that he owned was snatched.
Well, that's
up,
what I'm
right?
saying. He's making money off of like shit that they don't even want out there, and then they get the money. So let Alex Jones spew some shit, hurt some other people since he's gonna do it anyways, and then that way they have a revenue stream.
I don't know. Early spends for 100,000 per month. I mean, 80. Miss Driver argued in court that the 85 million figure was unrealistic and that Mr. Jones would be unable to pay. Well, I mean, I think that's what. I don't think you could do
He
that.
could pay 85.
You can't enable.
He could pay 85.
You can't enable him to continue doing what's getting him sued for 1.5 billion in the first place. Just
Well, they're not enabling him. They're just saying.
no, you are though. You're greenlighting him, saying that's what you got to do to go make your money. So go spread more disinformation
Right. Well,
and pay me.
This is okay. This is not the setting to shut down his show. This is the setting to get money from him. If authorities outside of this process think that he should get completely banned, okay, then we'll have to find some more money elsewhere. But as long as he's doing it, then they should get like a cut. They should get a big enough cut, or he should be left with the amount of money it takes for him to do his show, and that's it. And then they just cut the rest
Take all of his.
until he fucking dies
Take all of his
from
like
taking ivermectin or something.
man vitamin money and
Yeah.
all that weird shit that he's got.
Yeah, I mean his heart's gonna explode because of one thing or another. Like
Well,
his
now,
brain.
but like, I mean, I'm sure he can pay something because now this is like I said, peak him. All these conspiracy theories.
Yeah, dude.
This
He's
weird
got,
shit.
He's got offshore accounts, and I think you're like underestimating how much money this fucking guy like.
No,
is
he's got a
making.
shit ton of money.
85 million is like easy. Like like Joel Osteen makes that in a year.
But he doesn't
probably.
really have any big sponsors because of he's like kind of deplatformed.
Did he
So,
ever have big sponsors? I thought he just sold his own like bootleg shit.
Yeah, I mean, he sold other people's bootleg shit, so I'm sure he's
Yeah,
getting like
sure those people. I'm sure there's plenty of snake oil salesmen.
Patriot Calcium.
Yeah, there's plenty of
3
people that
scoops a
would
day
love to
makes
sell some
me-
people some shit on Alex Jones. I guarantee it.
Life straws and like selling like water purification
ridiculous.
kit. Flint axe. Yeah, I could see that. Testifying in Texas court, Jones admitted he was wrong and called the killings 100% real. So I mean, I just don't think you can charge it. I mean, I think wouldn't you rather, if you're the parents? I mean, obviously the compensation, but to have him just be deplatformed to where he's not doing
No.
our show anymore.
Or have millions and millions of dollars.
Just,
My kid's already dead.
just liquidate all of his shit. Oh, I guess there's a lot of, but yeah. You got 10-year window to run your show, and then we're shutting it down. And we want all
But
100%
the 10
of
years
the
is almost
proceeds.
up because it was 2014 on December 14th.
Well, it's just still caught up in court.
I know, but I'm just saying.
And that's
Cut
a
10
big
years to do
drop.
a
That's
show.
a big drop from 1.5 to 85.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
huge.
even like it's not even 1%.
Yeah.
I think.
Fucking Alex Jones. So this is a dumb one, but I've been watching this because it's terrible. I don't know if you've watched this stupid fucking Squid Game, but like real life Squid Game shit on Netflix. It's ridiculous, and it's one of the most cringy things I've ever seen. All these adults are treating it like they're in the Squid Game. There's dramatic death.
I've heard about it, but I want to hear the explanation because I haven't watched it. Also, spoiler alert: if you haven't watched Squid Games yet, or the real one, skip 5 minutes.
No, well, I mean, this is. I'm not going to say anything that happens. I'm just
Okay.
saying
All right.
these people take it very serious. Like whenever they're out, it's like a dramatic, like they died, like they got shot or they got fucking stabbed, and they like flop around and flop on the ground. I've never seen so many grown fucking adults cry just
Is
for
it
no reason.
is it Korean?
No, it's all Americans. So
Oh,
it's like
I thought it might be like
cringy,
Korean culture.
cringy ass Americans who are just like, "Oh, this is so awesome!" It's like just like fanboy to the max. Like the phone's ringing in the corner, and who's gonna answer it? And they're all like crying, like, "Oh my god, don't do it!" It's the cringiest shit ever. But I saw this article because two contestants on Netflix series Squid Game: The Challenge are threatening legal action over alleged injuries they had suffered while filming, including hypothermia. Express Solicitors, a law firm based in the UK, said no lawsuit has been filed yet, but the firm has begun legal action against the show's production company, Studio Lambert. The health concerns mainly centered around the first challenge of the game show, red light, green light, where contestants race to the finish line without being without being detected by a motion spotting robot. It requires the players to run quickly when the giant robot looks. In the show, if you're watching it and you're running, it turns around and looks at you, these people get capped, you get shot. In this, they have like little fucking packets, like a cheesy ass, like a really low budget, like you got shot on like a fucking Tubi movie, and it's just like, and it just pops in their shirt.
Ooh, why is Tubi got to catch a stray right now?
Because Tubi's great, but you know, sometimes the production value's low.
Okay.
David Sladen, an accident specialist, said he was unaware, they felt unwell after standing or crouching motionless for hours in cold temperatures, which led to one of the contestants suffering from hypothermia. Cold temperatures, it's like a big fucking room. There was also concern about the iconic green uniform, which one contestant alleged it did not properly protect her from chilly conditions. From what we've been told, they push the boundaries of safety in the name of entertainment, he said in a statement. Production companies need to ensure that health and safety standards on their shows don't leave people at risk of harm. That's absurd. I watched it in like the first one because you had to crouch. These motherfuckers are running, the ones that are like in these like awkward as fuck positions, and that gave you hypothermia because you're in a tracksuit and you were in a squat position because you're running and you chose to fucking squat while you're waiting for a robot to turn around and look at you. I'm not gonna like crab walk across a 200-yard field and be like, oh, and then later be like, oh man, my back hurts, my elbow, my hands are dirty. They're like, yeah, dude, you could have just fucking walked, but you chose to fucking crab walk like an idiot. So these people are trying to sue Netflix for this, for their tracksuits being
Where did
too
they
thin.
film this?
I don't know, indoors in a climate-controlled fucking warehouse. It's not like it's.
Is that what it said?
No, I watched it. There's a roof. There's walls.
I know, but studios can be cold. I don't know about hypothermia cold.
And there's two people out of like the 400. There's a
Okay.
big. There's
This isn't a
yeah.
class
These
action.
are they're very isolated. I think this sounds like some bitter ass people who chose a weird route and they were out in the first 15 minutes and they're pissed off. They're like, shit.
Or this was the plan the whole time, and that's why they're out in the first round.
The first round of the competition took place in Cardigan Studios in Bedford, England. Network's fan-focused website Tadum also reported that temperatures were very cold on set, adding staff distributed hand warmers and placed heaters in tent areas. Okay, and contestants for warm-ups during breaks. We take welfare of our contestants extremely seriously. I mean, you're on Squid Game.
It does sound like better people now, and it wasn't a plot from the beginning because they're like they probably are upset and they're like, remember how cold it was? And then it just escalated in their heads. Like,
Yeah, and
it
they're
was so
like,
cold.
it was
Oh,
so
we gotta say
cold,
something.
and so, you know, somebody was like, well, well, I'm over here just enjoying my BLT, but I'm a lawyer. How cold was this room? Oh, it was the coldest room that's ever been cold before. Oh, that sounds pretty damn cold. You might have a lawsuit on your hands. Or it's like Jackie Childs from fucking Kramer's
But remember,
lawyer from.
it's in England. So what would that
Yeah.
sound like?
Oh, it sounds like it was pretty cold in there. What was the temperature? What was the weather that day? Pull it up.
Oh man,
Oh yeah, that's pretty cold.
that's pretty cold, isn't it?
It's 22, isn't it?
I bet you could get some money from it.
Oh, hold on. I think I got an important text message. But I mean, this gonna. Hold on.
Joseph has a look of concern on his face and looking at the phone.
Oh, I just
Well, I'm just letting
money.
the audience
No,
know. There's a moment of silence.
money conversations. Hey, you know, hey,
Oh, well, money conversations.
hey,
can
boss.
wait. I
Hey,
thought it
boss.
was like
No,
an
well,
actual
remember,
emergency.
well, no, but I mean,
Because we're having money
I'm in charge of,
literally.
large amounts of money. So there's other people that work for me that if they have a question, I always try to answer it. That's important, right? I don't like to leave them hanging. That's what makes me a good boss. But yeah, they're definitely trying to just sue the fuck out of them because they're bitter as shit. And a spinoff, the deaths are fake. But like I said, oh my god, watch the first episode. 20 minutes in, you're like, what? They're like, ugh. And they like lay there and they're like, oh my god, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm just freaking the fuck out. It's just like, bro, it's like,
Well, I mean, if it's like
no,
think
it's
about
like,
a
no, it's
civil-
like, it's like
I know how
Disney
you like
adults.
Civil War reenactments, you know.
It's like Disney adults when they go to Disney World and they're like, "Oh my God, look at the Magic Kingdom," and they like geek the
These
fuck
are all
out.
like super.
These
Fans
are all
of,
like
Squid
super
Game.
fans of Squid Games that are like across the spectrum of just cringe. None of them
You
you're
know,
like
at
that guy's
least
cool.
they're
And
putting in the effort to make it more theatric.
and there's some mega assholes too. Where you're like, that guy's a dick. Like I was watching it earlier before we started doing these podcasts.
They cast them for a reason.
There's just like football guy that's a douche, and then there's like the son, and then like his old mom. There's all these weird like combos, but you gotta watch it, man. It's just cringe as fuck. But now they're getting.
I didn't even watch the first Squid Game.
Well, this is like live action though. So this first Squid Game is a TV show.
Like, I don't even have a reference.
This is like Big Brother. It's like Big Brother. And the prize was $4.56 million.
Oh yeah, that's why somebody said that because I was in a group text and somebody just responded 4.56. Oh, it was
Yeah, because there's 456 players competing, so that's what I'm saying. 2 out of the 456 were complaining about it being cold and their tracksuits being thin. And now they're suing for hypothermia. Incredible. You know, it's wild too. Netflix will probably pay him. To make them go away. They
don't not go away. They would just keep happening.
I just saw this because this was weird as fuck. Mount Pleasant, Michigan, a man accused of keeping dead wife in a freezer sentenced up to 8 years in prison. Why would you keep?
So he didn't kill his wife?
Isabel County Circuit Judge Mark Duthie sentenced Terrell York to 8 years in prison, exceeding advisory guidelines and ranged from 0 to 12 months. Duthie told York in court that his case were horrible and the family and friends deserve closure when a person dies. A person's body after death should be treated with dignity. So I don't think he killed her. I think he just kept her. It should be treated with respect. It shouldn't be stuffed in a freezer like a piece of meat.
Jesus. So he kept her in a freezer for 8 years. He's gonna go to prison for 8 years.
Dude, that is a hardcore line.
That's fair.
It shouldn't
Every
be
day
stuffed
that
in
you
a
keep a body in a freezer, you get a day in jail. That's what they're saying.
It shouldn't be stuffed in a freezer like a piece of meat. Your conduct is outrageous. York declined a chance to speak during the sentencing. Yeah, I bet you did there, bud. Sheriffs discovered 67-year-old Patricia York's body in a chest freezer in Deerfield Township, house she shared with York in April. Deputies searched the house after Patricia York's daughter called them saying she hadn't heard from her mother in 2 years. Damn. Told deputies she moved out and was living with some people in Michigan. He later told investigators she died of natural causes in 2022, but he didn't tell anyone and placed her body in the freezer, aka picking up them social security checks.
You think that's what it was?
I mean, she was collecting it. She's damn near maxed it out at 67. I don't know how you don't get that much longer after that, to where they make you take it. You can take it at like 60, or you can take it later.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I mean, if she hadn't taken it yet at 67, I mean, you can't ride it out much longer than that before they make you take Social Security. You max
Yeah.
it out.
But do you think that's why he did it?
Well, I'm sure he was doing it, whether that was his intention or not. He was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I could cash these checks too, double
Yeah, yeah.
up." Yeah, fuck yeah, hell yeah, like absolutely. Where is it? She died of natural causes. Investigators aren't able to determine the cause of death. He argued York didn't report her death because he wanted to go on collecting her Social Security payments.
Boom.
Deputy,
You sniffed it out, bro.
yeah,
You can
deputy,
smell fraud
yeah,
when
deputies
a mile
wrote that
away.
he spent her benefits on food and bills. That's wild. It's unfortunate that he's still grieving over the situation. During the sentencing, both Yorks were struggling with medical issues. Terrell York lost his job due to them. So he
was
lost
just
his job.
panicked. Yeah, that without her money coming in, that he couldn't afford anything. It wasn't like he was out here like spending it. It was,
Yeah, but well, he's still
I mean,
paying
it's
using
still.
food and
I'm
bills.
not. I'm not saying like, oh, put your dead spouse into a fucking freezer to get the checks. But it doesn't sound like he was like some like.
Would you?
complete
Would you?
asshole.
Would you do that?
No, are you fucking kidding?
You would. You wouldn't.
And probably without her around and her medical expenses, I don't need that much money.
You wouldn't keep her around to collect that.
No, motherfucker. I don't even know what a chest freezer is.
If you live in Deerfield Township, I feel like that's an area where everybody's got one.
Yeah.
You don't. Oh, I got a new one. 15 by 55. Big as fuck. Takes up the whole side of the house. That whole side of the garage, man, just fucking freezer. I got deer steaks, deer meat, deer sausage.
My first wife, my second wife.
Yeah, my first, second wife. A couple ferrets in there. You know, the kids
Our
love them.
Our Mexican nanny.
Yeah, yeah, that's where she sleeps. I cut a part out, and it doesn't get as cold in that part. We insulated it, and that's where she sleeps.
We gave her mittens.
We're a sanctuary house. Come on now.
Yeah.
We're not this ain't a Greg Abbott household, all right? You're like, oh, okay, great, thanks, that's your buddy. But yeah, I mean that's kind of 8 years in prison. But now you know what? If he's
Was it 8 years that he was doing this, or was it less?
it was. I mean, she'd been missing for 2 years.
Well, that's what one of the people said, but
They found her in April.
like there was an update in 22, so it hasn't even been 2 years since then, so it had to have been before then.
Yeah. I mean, he had her in there for at least a year and a half.
Well, I thought you said 8 years, but and then
That's what he got. That's what he got.
I know, but I thought you had said it before, so I was saying like a day in prison for every day you have someone in a freezer. 8 years he had her.
He got 4 days for every.
Yeah. Oh, so he's getting. Yeah. So he had her for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been 2 years since 22. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm saying is the daughter said she did a welfare check and was like, I haven't seen my mom in 2 years.
Right, but it hasn't been 2 years since 22. It's been.
Sure.
It's been less than 2 years. So my point is that it had to have been going on longer.
Yeah.
She probably died from COVID.
Maybe.
Just pure speculation.
Allegedly. Last one by the AP. Meat without animals. How do you feel about this? What is this scrolling on this shit, dude? There it is. More than 150 startups are chasing the ambitious goal: meat that doesn't require raising and killing animals, that is affordable and tasty. Feels like meat we eat now. You into this faux meat shit? You're all callied out.
I am carried out, but not like that. But no, I'm fine with it if okay, your boy did an entire. Remember, I probably talked about it before. I got fourth place in the college speech tournament out of like 100 people because I did a speech called "Organic Food is Bullshit."
Yeah.
And part of that is like the no GMOs, genetically modified organisms. To me, that's so stupid. Like, if we didn't have any GMOs, like we'd have little baby like corn, and we wouldn't even call it corn, we call it maize, and we couldn't eat it. Like GMOs aren't like themselves bad. It's not like antibiotics, like where you're like the animal consumes it, then you consume it. All they're doing is just like making your tomatoes like fresh for longer, or because they're manipulating like the seeds. It's not like they're like injecting chemicals into it. So with this thing, if it's healthy and we figured out how to just create chicken like by putting like certain products together, then or byproducts or whatever the fuck it's called, then it's fine with me, dude. It tastes like chicken, and it's not bad for you. But if you're saying like I'm eating chemicals like that are you see like on the back of like like Mountain Dew or like a body wash,
Or like one of those old school quick kick Gatorade
right. If it's
drinks
something
that
like
was like red
that,
78, purple
exactly.
32, you're like,
Well,
what is
that's
it?
totally different. But if it's just like, no, we got protein from, uh, we had protein molecules and we put them together with, this, and this, and it's like the exact same chemical makeup, or not chemical, but biological or genetic, I guess.
Yeah, it's a booming market. I mean, it's one of the fastest growing industries right now. We're addicted to meat as a species. It's part of our evolution. It's part of our culture. This country,
Yeah. And then think about like, yeah, so if it's not bad for you, and then you stop the fucking mass murder
Israel,
of
California, and
cattle.
Singapore are like the hubs for this right now. Would you be fine if all traditional meat was replaced with fake meat?
Yes, I'd be totally fine with that as long as it, again, like we knew it was like not gonna just like eventually kill us. But obviously, and guess what? That solves climate change because like the majority of so okay, so half of the um, chemicals in the air causing climate change are long term, and then the other half are methane, and they're short term, but it's still a big problem. And all of that's from agriculture. So you get the cows off of the planet farting constantly, and boom, that's just like a bigger dent.
So cows go extinct? Is that what you're saying?
No, they're just not like mass manufactured and then murdered. Like, they just
So
live.
there'd have to be a timeline where we slowly wean ourselves off of what we have. We'd have to go through the backstock.
It would just happen naturally as the meat comes onto the or what are we calling the new meat? The meatless meat,
Yeah.
animal free meat. If once that gets on the market and becomes and they get the price down, it's kind of like you see it with Beyond meat, like where it's more expensive. That's the reason. It's not like they can't do this; they just can't make it commercially viable because of the cost of it. Like they created probably like a chicken thing like a long time ago, without a chicken, but it cost them like probably like $10,000 to do. And then now once you get it cheaper and cheaper to where it's competing with regular meat, and then people are like, oh, I don't have to kill a cow, and it tastes just as good, and it's not. It's just it's the exact same thing.
That's healthier.
And yeah, then this switch happens, and then it's like it's done. It's just that's the beauty of market capitalism, baby.
You heard it here first. Andy wants a meatless society.
Yeah, but then be careful though, because I don't know if you remember this, but Oprah on her show told people to stop eating as much meat as part of their diet, and there is a meat lobby, and they literally sued her for millions of dollars, and it went to court. It was a huge fucking thing.
The meat lobby, dude.
Yeah, big cattle.
I feel like they all
They're
wear
real.
like
Yeah. So
Stetsons.
the market, yeah, the market would naturally get them out of there, but don't underestimate the power of a you know, because right now like solar energy, I think, or solar or wind, one or the other, is now less uh money than or less cost than from unrenewable resources like oil and shit. But there's like giant oil companies that have like some of the most money in the world that are gonna make it, you know,
as,
very hard
as
for the
difficult as
switch.
possible. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have a vested interest in it not switching.
Yeah. So big cattle probably would too. with the oil industries, I don't understand why they don't just make the conversion to like, they've got all the infrastructure, just make the
Yeah,
conversion
just
to
change it.
renewables.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I know BP said that they like their BP stands for British Petroleum, but they did a whole market change up to Beyond Petroleum because they were going to try to move greener faster than everybody. And then your boy invested, and then they went 5x on the market. Whatever. But my point is, it seemed like that's what they were going to do. But they've had an opportunity, these oil companies, to do that for 50 years when they first found out that it was bad for the environment, and they haven't. So I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, it's going to, obviously, oil companies at some point, they're not in our life, but at some point will be non existent if they don't pivot.
Yeah.
It just should have happened a lot sooner. Should already have happened.
Well, this will be a big pivot if society moves towards beyond meat.
Off of animals.
Yeah, off of animals. That'd be huge.
It's such a horrific stain on humanity. Like if an alien race came here and they saw that, like, we have these mass like cattle farms that we systematically murder like sentient beings like for food. We look like fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
We just all justified it, collectively. So we don't think about it that way.
And it's really inhumane how they're just like can barely move. Sometimes you see these chickens that are like raised in cages and pigs and stuff. It's pretty gross.
Right.
It's pretty fucked up. Well, I mean, that's 115. Another shout out, Henry Kissinger, war criminal.
He gone.
Death Lord, gone. So now whoever the biggest scumbag on the planet is, it's, they're going to have a vote. We'll know soon.
Yeah, I wonder who it is. Because he literally probably, out of everybody on the planet, responsible for the most deaths.
Yeah, like that's still alive,
like,
yeah.
Like way more than Putin.
Oh, yeah.
Way more than Xi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
C. Yeah. And mostly because he's had the time. We'll see. To be determined.
But he started off with a bang. He had some. Kissinger's biggest hits were pretty
early and often.
Yeah,
and consistent.
Yeah, he played in a lot of big empty arenas.
All right. Well,
so,
they did the Spotify Wrapped for 2023 on Podcasters.
Yeah.
And we grew our subscribers by 40% this year, and 70% growth in our new listeners.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Well, shout out.
Those were the fun facts.
Shout out to us for that.
Shout out to us. And I remember we were in the top 5% of most shared podcasts globally.
Okay, nice. Oh, yeah. Another round of applause for that. That's good. Fuck yeah. Well, anything else?
That's it, except for meditate, bitches.
All right. Well, y'all be good. Stay out of trouble. Hopefully, y'all had a good holidays, a good gobble day. Christmas is right around the bend. I also got to say something real quick. I had somebody that worked for me that like I love to death who took his life recently. Sorry, dark alert, but was going through some hard stuff and, made a decision. I wish he wouldn't have. It's been something I've been struggling with for like the past week. But if you guys are having a hard time, stuff go on, reach out to somebody, call somebody. Or if you know somebody who's going through something, reach out to them, check on them. Super, super important that we're all here for each other. Because, don't let temporary circumstances allow you to make permanent decisions. So just, y'all be nice to each other, and I love y'all. And go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stopped.